On to the next one is we've got this our interview with our good friend Don Charles coming next, where he discusses the upcoming Tyson Fury fight, and also he's got his fight with another one of his charges, Ian Lewis against Eddie Chambers. So check it out. Box Asylum listeners making their return to the show this week is our good friend Don Charles. How you doing, Don?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Ah, not bad, my friend, not bad. It's been a long time since we spoke. I think it was just not long after the Malik Scott fight. We're going to touch on some of Dell's previous opponents there, but firstly on to the big announcement, the Tyson Fury fight. You really looking forward to it, obviously. But just one quick question though: is it been confirmed officially yet if it's definitely a world title eliminator?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Just going on to the press conference. What did you make of Tyson flipping the table over like that? I think that was actually pre-scripted.
Look, well, I'm not Tyson Fury, so I can't really speak for him. All I can speak on the experience of being there and seeing it unfold. Whatever prompted him to do that, to act in that way, only he knows. So, we were asked to go there, Derek, to do his thing, and he was professional about it, and Tyson opted to do what he did. So that's Tyson Fury. You have to ask that question to Tyson Fury.
Hopefully we'll get. I'm hoping to get Peter Fury on and maybe later on. But I think Kurt, you got a couple of questions, mate.
Yeah, on the press conference, I mean, you could say it was scripted, but is Fury showing a bit of nerves? He's a bit rattled by Dell knowing that this time Chisora's going to be in good shape. Do you think that could be a case, Don?
It could be a number of things. Like I said, the only person who really know what they're feeling is Tyson Fury. But if I was to have a guess, he's a fighter, so you just don't know what's going through a fighter's head. You just don't know. It could be a number of many things. So, like I said, the only one man who can actually give you an accurate answer is Mr. Fury himself.
One of the times you was on with us, I remember you saying the two fights you really wanted was the revenge of Hay and Fury. I mean, how happy are you to get this fight now?
Very happy, but I'll be quite frank. I didn't think it would be as soon as it would come this soon, the Fury one. I really thought they would go a different path before meeting up again. But you know how things change in boxing, things change all the time. And the way it transpires is that these two are going to meet for a second time, sooner than we thought, but it's happening.
Don, one of the questions from one of our followers on Twitter actually made a question regards to the change in Derek's physical abilities. What's been the main cause in the change? Is it mainly just been the diet, the lifestyle, or has it just been the training regimen that's actually got Derek into this type of shape?
I would say again, it's not just one thing; it's a number of a collective of different things. The why you're seeing a change in him and maturity, taking more care and in what one puts in one's mouth, and becoming more professional approach towards everything in his life. So I think that's why you're seeing the changes. So obviously we're all very happy. He's in a happy place.
What about obviously you won't be want to kind of give us too much detail on the tactical advantages or anything you're going to be given to your game plan going into the fight, but do you think that if Dell can somehow work his way inside Tyson's reach, and provided that you got a fair ref and Tyson doesn't maybe try and hold Derek behind the head as he tries to work the body, you think it's going to be key to work Tyson's body?
Most definitely. I mean, Derek said it himself in the press conference. It's no secret what Derek's going to do. The question is, can Tyson Fury handle what Derek's going to do this time round? Everybody's no secret. Everybody knows how Derek fights. He brings it. He brings it. When Chisora on his night, like I said, there is not one heavyweight in the world that could withstand what he'll bring. So, it's no secret. We can talk about game plan, talk about all different things. We know, and I know what Derek's going to bring. Pressure.
Another good thing about Derek as well, Don, is that he's always been an active fighter, and he's been kept active since the Hale defeat, and he's fought some good fighters. How important will that be in the fight?
Very significant because he's been very, as you quite rightly said, he's been very active. Probably the most active heavyweight in the world presently in the last
Yeah.
12 months. In the last 12 months, I mean, these are not Mickey Mouse fights. These are title fights he's been having there. With the exception of the first comeback fight after the hair fight, the rest of them have been for title fights. So that's at the top level. It's not just having fights bringing people that you can knock over. No, these are proper title fights where people are coming to win. They're coming to get a title. So they've been very significant fights that he's won them in good fashion.
The difference in Derek's punching power, because he seems to be punching a lot harder lately. I mean, he stopped Malik Scott, obviously, Edward Gerber, Parla, and he had Kevin Johnson down, who is a very durable guy who I don't think has ever been put down before that.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, over a period in the past 4 years, people have always accused that Derek hasn't got enough power. I've always said to people, he's got power in abundance. Again, what you're seeing now is his timing is a lot better. Hence, why these people are going on the floor or being brutally stopped. It's all to do with timing. The power has always been there. All it is timing has gotten better. Simple as that.
Don, just slightly going back to what Tyson Fury said in the press conference, saying that he's going to knock Del Boy out, etc. Speaking to Derek firsthand, how legit is Fury's power? Does he punch with the likes of, I don't know, like maybe a Vladimir Klitschko, or is he more kind of lighter hitter?
Well, I've never received a punch from Tyson Fury, but if I was to, from a coach's perspective, looking at it, every heavyweight can punch. Yeah, every heavyweight, every boxer can punch. Some harder than others. Yeah. Okay, some are devastating one punch taker artists. And I don't think Tyson Fury comes on in that bracket. He's not. I don't believe he's a one punch taker artist. So yes, he will. He's a big man. He's a big 6'9" man. You have to respect him. That a big 6'9" man hates you. He's going to cause damage, but we don't intend to go there to take shots. We will not give him the target to hit. Simple as that. He couldn't do it when Derek was at his worst. Yeah, couldn't make a clean connection, and he certainly won't be able to get no clean connection when Derek at his best. So there you have it.
Obviously, I mean, Tyson's obviously been, very inactive in the last year or so due to various reasons, etc. He's come back with that fight there in February against Joey Abel. The bookies have slightly got Tyson. I think he's slight favourite at 49. I think maybe Derek's 74 at the bookies. Did you get a chance to have a look at the Joey Abel fight? And I take it there wasn't really much to take home that you don't already know, is there?
No, I mean, there's always something you look at, to see what the person is doing new. Yeah, I've spotted a few things, and yeah, I've seen what I've seen. They're watching us, we're watching them. Whoever brings it on the night, my friend, that's how this thing goes. You can do whatever you want, say whatever you want. Okay, bookies, I didn't expect us to be favorites because we've already lost to this guy. So. Bookies will have him favorites. I didn't expect anything different. But like I said, whoever brings their game on the night sticks to their game plan.
Don, if I can just take you to another fight we talked about the last time you was on, I think you was one of the only people out there who predicted George Groves to knock out Carl Froch.
Yeah. You asked me a question. I just rudely stopped you there. You asked me a question. You said to me, how do I see it going? And I predicted Groves. And I think, not in a bad way, you guys kind of was surprised, like, how can I say that? And I went further. I said, not only will he beat him, he will knock him out. And again, people thinking I'm drinking alcohol. Yeah. When I make these predictions, it's based upon my observations. I study boxing, I study people. I never go with the hype. If the hype is true, I'll be the first to acknowledge it. Okay, if the hype is true, I'll be first to acknowledge it. But in that case, I knew a lot of it was hype. I'm not discrediting Carl Froch by any means. Yeah, I think it's a throwback. Those are his assets. They don't make him like they make Carl Froch. But the boxing is not about taking punch on the chin and seeing how tough you are. Yeah, and I know when out of the two boxers that, like I said before, I know who was a guy who was improving all the time. I watched him. He was improving on all aspects, technique, boxing intelligence, power. You know, and that's why I made my prediction based on those observations. Those points. And like I said, you said yourself, yeah, I was probably one of the few people that gave our boy a chance, not
Hmm.
just of winning, a chance that he will cause damage. Because you can't go out there and keep sticking your chin out to people to hit to say that you're tough. No, I totally disagree.
What did you think of the stoppage, Don? Do you think Grove?
Premature,
Yeah, it was.
premature.
Obviously Groves had,
But,
he'd done a lot of damage in that fight, and I think he did
uh,
deserve a chance to kind of fight his way back into
yeah,
it, considering what
pre,
Froch had went
pre,
through.
premature. The referee should get. How can I put it? Uh, Groves should give after this fight. Groves should give the referee and Carl Froch a lot of money. You know why? Because the referee intervening and
It's a
ending
great
that fight
effect.
prematurely has prompted this fight to be a mega fight,
Yeah.
the return fight. Had the referee not done that, and who knows what the outcome would be? Maybe Froch would have gone on to stop Groves. Who's to say? And it would have been conclusive, so there wouldn't be any need for a second match. Yeah. So really and truly, the person who should be nobody's. I don't know if anybody's picked up on it. I've looked at it and said no. Without the referee's intervention, premature intervention, I don't believe we would have been seeing this second match that everybody's talking about.
That is true as well, and Groves is obviously rightly very angry with Howard Foster. But even if there was a rematch, it wouldn't be taking place in Wembley. It wouldn't be as huge as it was without the whole
Yeah.
ending. And see,
Yeah.
hindsight is a funny thing, and Groves probably looks back at that now and does see that.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is destiny. When I say about destiny, this is the way it was meant to. You don't have you and I don't have any control over these things when they happen. So that happening has magnified this second fight or prompted it, and by public demand. And I mean, I'm so excited about it. I don't know about you guys.
Are you
I'm pumped for this fight as
are you,
well.
are you sticking with your original prediction, Don, for the rematch?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be a knockout, Don, mid rounds or late stoppage? Do you think?
It'll come. It'll come. It could come early. It could come late, but it'll come.
You think Groves has actually got a point regards to not wanting a British official in charge? I mean, there's been some instances in the past and stuff, the judging, and I mean, not to mention names, but we had Denzel McInerney getting stopped prematurely in a fight against Oval Mackenzie, for instance. Do you think Groves is right in wanting a neutral official in?
I wouldn't say I don't really want to get involved in that because I think the British officials have always done a magnificent job worldwide. We're renowned as having the best referees, in the world. Okay, so I don't really would say I agree with that. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. He could have got. We've had fights abroad where there was a foreign referee officiating, in Finland. Again, listen, it depends on who you get on the night. I really do believe that. I don't believe it does. It matters of whether you're an English referee or a referee from the continent. It makes any difference. It's just one of those things, luck of the draw.
Just popping back to the heavyweight division, Don, did you get a chance to see Deontay Wilder's last fight against Malik Scott?
I didn't watch it as it happened, but obviously since then I've seen it. Yes. Um, what did you want to know?
Just wonder, well, obviously, I mean, he's just steamrolling, obviously, but again, as I've said it myself, they've managed to get this kid into position by taking, softer touches. I mean, guys like Derek, for instance, probably deserve a world title shot ahead of this guy, but I just wonder, is there, I mean, obviously we need to see him go rounds to see if we can see him go to deep waters, can
Yeah,
take a
but
punch, etc. But
yeah, listen. it will happen. All it is that I can't blame Wilder because he did what he had to do. He did it, whether he did it in the first minute, second minute, or in the 36th minute. He happened to have threw a punch and they caught the guy cold, and the guy went. This is boxing. This is, we're talking about it now. It's not Wilder's fault. It's not his fault. He can only do what the opponent allows him to do to the opponent. I give him credit. Yeah, if my fighter went in there and clipped the guy with a beautiful shot, temple shot, and bingo. Yes, we would. Obviously, all of us, including myself, we're waiting to see when somebody could actually get this guy to go past 4 or 5 rounds. Yeah, that will happen. That will happen. It hasn't happened as yet, but it will happen in the future.
Did you get a chance to see the fight last night, Don, Odlanier Solis and Tony Thompson?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
No.
I was told. I know the result, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, well, I'd probably do yourself a favour. Maybe watch it one night if you really need a sleep. It was pretty poor in all honesty.
Hence why I never set the alarm. You can remember the days of putting your alarm on to wake up to watch an exciting heavyweight bout. Those days have long gone, and I'm hoping my guy Derek, he's an exciting heavyweight who one day people, not us here, we're doing it in real time, but abroad, people will be setting their alarms to be watching Derek Chisora, winning world titles and unifying them.
But Don, do you like look at a guy like Derek and think he's underappreciated? Because it's so rare in today's world to see a fighter fighting the type of fights he has in such a short pro career. I mean, you got someone like Wilder, for instance, 31-0, whatever he has. Derek has been, he's been in with all of them. I mean, so do you think he's underappreciated?
Well, yes and no. I don't blame the people who don't appreciate him because, from an observation point of view, even me, if I wasn't Derek Chisora's trainer, I'd be looking at it. Unless you really look closely, you'll miss a lot of the things he does. Okay? It might not be the most clinical fighter on the planet. He's getting better. We're improving things. This kid, in total, amateur and pro, has only had 45 fights. 22 amateur fights. 22 amateur fights, and we've had now 24, 25 pro fights. So collectively, the kid has only had, like I said, 45 fights collectively. That's nothing in comparison to some of these people internationally who went to the Olympics or went to internationally. They would have had over 70 fights as an amateur, and then about 20 odd pro fights before they even challenged for any honors. Derek, altogether, I keep reminding people, he's only had 45, 46 fights collectively, amateur and pro. So, a lot of the things that he does, that he's still learning his craft but it's magnificent or remarkable, should I say, that this kid has gone and fought for WBC world title challenge for it. Okay, we didn't win it, all right, but he's done it at such a early stage. Yeah, people could say, but I was too premature. But you know what? We've learned from him. Him as a fighter has learned, and he's matured so much from doing those things, without getting hurt. Okay. If you had gone there and got battered, then that's different. That means we were so naive. But it was well-calculated risk we took. So like I said earlier on, a lot of people don't see what he does because they don't quite understand it. But if you look closely. If you look closely, you'll find it.
What would you say, Derek's? What has he learned over the past couple of years that's impressed you most that you've seen, whether it be in the gym or in the ring?
It's just the maturity, and how can I put it? The way the guy. I mean, listen, a lot of people wrote him off. After the loss to Hay, a lot of people said he couldn't. That's him. He's finished. He could never come back. So the character, you asked me a question. What I admire most is the character. He showed character to bounce back. To bounce back when all the chips were down, where everybody's ridiculing you and saying that, oh, that's it, you're just a glorified. I've had all kind of hurtful things I've read about my boy and said, but none of them know us. None of them know Derek. They don't know me. They don't know what we planned. They're just assuming. And people will be really quick to ridicule people without knowing them.
Bro, if you're gonna do an interview, how come you just go to your house?
Right, can you hear those voices in the
I
background?
can, yeah.
Who do you think that is?
That's Derek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. So what was I saying? Basically, the show of character is what I admire most.
Sorry, Don. Just briefly before we let you go. Obviously, you got a kind of party kind of going on over there at the minute.
It's not a party. It's just Derek.
Just
When
Derek.
you're in Derek's
Well,
company,
you just don't know.
everything goes. It's not a party. If it's a party, then that means there's a party every day. There isn't. We're just in his house
All right.
with his wife, and that's just Derek being Derek.
I know you've got a fight coming up. You're going head to head again with Peter Fury with your fight. Are you still training Ian Lewis? And I believe you've got the Eddie Chambers fight coming up. How you look forward to that one?
Yeah, that's what's been proposed, and we're relishing the opportunity to again step up, for my boy to step up. Again, a very underrated. He's been under the radar for a long time, but it's about to surface. We're about to unveil him into the world circuit, and I'm really expecting big things from that young man.
Yeah, we spoke to Ian on the show a while back, and he sounded quite frustrated because he wanted to show everyone what he can do. So it's good that he's got a guy like Eddie Chambers, who obviously boxing fans all know.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite remarkable how things change, and obviously we've still got to go there and do the business. It's not just about getting these opportunities. You got to capitalize on them, and I believe he will.
Yeah. Somebody tweeted, man, he couldn't knock out a table, he couldn't knock the table over, which was standing on the platform. How's he going to knock there, which is all right?
Are you with me?
Yeah, I was just listening to see what Del was saying there, actually.
No, that was actually, he was talking to a colleague, and you picked it up on it. Sorry.
Just very briefly. I remember Derek mentioned, maybe a couple of months back, Don. This October will be the 40th anniversary since his hero Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman for the heavyweight title. If you're successful against Tyson Fury, and obviously you're going to push for the Vladimir Klitschko fight, it would be excellent to see if that fight could actually get made in Africa, and I would actually be doing all I can to actually get there. No. I mean, how good would it be to go home and just potentially win the world heavyweight title in Africa?
Wherever Derek wins there, it would be brilliant. I'll be speechless. I've always got a lot to say, but I would be speechless. But to do it in Africa, Rumble in the Jungle Part 2, I mean, that's just what dreams are made of, aren't they? Isn't it?
I think great, yeah.
That's what dreams are made of. And we can't, not thinking too far ahead, we got to concentrate on the job ahead, and that's to contest a hungry young man. Mr. Fury is very determined. He's unbeaten. Let's not forget this guy. Till you're beaten, till you taste your first defeat, you don't know you're invincible. We were once upon a time, we were like him. So we have to, take care of that. It's mustn't overlook him because it's too tall to overlook.
You're certainly like a dream, though, mate. That's the thing. Life's all about dreaming at the same time. So hopefully that comes off for you.
Oh, most definitely. Listen, we believe it. We believe it's our destiny. Derek believes it's his destiny. But like I said, he's got to remain focused on the job ahead. We have to. That's where you mess up. If you overlook the man in front of you, then you're a fool.
Finally, Dan, could you give our listeners a prediction for the upcoming fight with Fury? What they can expect from Dow?
They're going to expect fireworks. They're going to expect a proper British, how the British like it, a tear up, a proper barnstormer. Yeah, and the two guys are two fighting men. There's a lot to prove. There's a lot at stake. Listen, the ingredients, you couldn't get any more recipes to get. If there's anything ingredients you need to make up a good fight, these two guys, they have all the ingredients that it takes to make a classic, and I believe that's what the public are going to get.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it, Dan.
Yeah, I'm involved and I'm trembling as we speak. I'm with excitement. Seriously, with excitement because it's going to be a cracker.
Well, Dom, we really appreciate your time, mate. Sorry we can't have you on for much longer because we've got to go
Not a
ahead and
problem.
record the show, but hopefully we can get you on again just closer to the time. And
Okay.
best of luck for the upcoming fight. And obviously pass on the regards to Ian Lewisham as well, who's with a chat with him about a couple of months back, but due to technical reasons we couldn't get the interview out. So hopefully that fight comes off for you as well.
Okay. Thank you, and I'll pass it on. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys on your show. So I'll be more than glad to come back and talk to you.
Thanks,
in the
Don.
future. All right.
Thanks a lot, Don.
All right. Take care.
Cheers, mate.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.